again, I think good question, Mr. Platypus. I think you know, it depends. Hey, Joe, thank you for the live. I'm not. I don't really think summer internships are always that beneficial. It is. I believe, especially like when you're doing like with law, which is my background. I feel what it does. It kind of gets you a bit of good morning and Merry Christmas to you too, Doda. Uh, I think what it does, it gets you, it gets you seen. The organization kind of gets you seen. They can kind of make the determination, are you kind of like the right fit? It's kind of like a interview, an informal interview, so to speak. And it does kind of get people, know that you're doing the degree. It's a little bit, I think, of a marketing type of ploy. I don't think you really get a lot of experience from it that you can take because it's really too short to really do it. And plus, when you do internships, a lot of times you only touch on the preface of what they require and what they want in the role. And that is because of insurance limitations, because you're not an employee, so you can't do everything an employee does. Merry Christmas, Willie. Thank you. And you have a Merry Christmas too. Thank you so much. So yes. So my own opinion, it shows, on a CV that you've had some exposure. You do have a bit of knowledge, some experience. You kind of understand what the role is about, especially like legal. If you're doing, let's say, a summer internship and you're looking to do, a training contract, what it says is that you've been into a legal office. You understand kind of like the functioning of the legal office, so it gives you maybe a little bit of an edge over someone who may have not done it, because you may have a little bit of knowledge. But I don't think, in my opinion, internships do a lot. Good question. It is. They should. I think. There is a. I don't know exactly every process, but there is a kind of an onboarding process where they will ask you to, for some information, for references. If they haven't already, they will check your references. They will go through and kind of verify some of your employment, and what you've said in the interview and also on your CV. So it can take, depending on if they're doing vetting, and they want a DBS check. DBS, from my experience, when I've done both the regular and enhanced DBS, can take from a couple of days to nearly a month. And a lot of that really depends on the type of DBS check, along with how many times you have moved, your addresses, and if you've changed names because of, let's say, married or divorced, you changed your name, or decide to file a name change. Again, that can take a bit longer. So DBS can take a variety. It really depends on the time of year. So I would expect, like January wise, there may be a little bit of a delay because of the holidays. along with some schools and universities. Right now, I know university-wise, they're doing hiring. So there may be some university and education providers that are, doing hiring, which always typically requires some type of DBS check. So there may be a slight demand there, so it may be a little bit longer than usual. So what I would say, finger in the wind estimate, when I worked public sector, I still work public sector, but I don't work kind of on the government end of things like I used to. It took for me from the time I accepted to the time I signed the contract, I think it was about 5 weeks. And again, this is just strictly from my experience. What I would say to you, how long before you get your contract from them? If you have a DBS check, I would say probably finger into an estimate. This is just my guess. I would say probably around 4 to 6 weeks would be probably what I would say to expect, because they can be a bit long. And after probably, I would say, if they don't keep you update, where they say kind of track your progress of your onboarding, I would say if you wouldn't hear anything, mid to late Jan, just to give them a call and just say, hey, Merry Christmas, Owain. Thank you so much. I hope you have a Merry Christmas too. I would say you give them a call, give them a, and just ask for a bit of a progress to see where things are. And just be really professional, very kind of aloof about, just say, I was hired on this date, submitted all my materials, and I haven't heard anything. So can you just kindly just give me a quick update to let me know where things are, and if you have an estimate, very rough estimate of how much longer it may be.